Hey everyone, it's Nate and Andrew here, and one of the most important aspects of growing as a musician and as a guitarist is to apply whatever you're working on to music. I came up with a jam track the other night because I was listening to Eric Gales and I really liked the groove, and it turned out it was really good for a couple of things, which Andrew will fill you in on.
Yeah, so basically, like the main kind of feel of the song is kind of like D minor-y. It's kind of when I was listening to it, that's what it felt like. But it's perfect for working on even just a D minor pentatonic scale. Yep. D blues scale is probably the one that's going to feel the best.
Yeah,
and then
overall.
If you've kind of got those down, now I don't personally use this a lot, but is it D Dorian?
The D Dorian scale for the B section of the tune is really cool because the progression is taken right from D Dorian. So you can kind of play around with that a lot. If you've already been exposed to the minor pentatonic scale and the blues scale, the D Dorian scale might be something you want to experiment with here.
Yeah, and now when you're talking about it fits better over that B section. What exactly are the chords in that
Well, I'll
B
show you.
section?
So in the key of C major, C ion, and C is the root, right? So we're thinking more of a D minor. That's our kind of our tonal center. And the progression, well, let's go through the chords in the key of C major real quick. C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major. And that's as far as I'll go. That's 1 through 5. And the chords for the B section are D minor, F major, G major, and back to the D minor. So your tonal center is definitely D minor, but it's going to be D Dorian because those notes are taken, or those chords, those diatonic chords are taken directly from the key of C major or D Dorian, whichever way you want to think about it. So if you're just starting out with lead guitar, you need to get the minor pentatonic scale into your fingers. And the first step to that is just get the coordination down and memorize the shape, right? And that's a D minor pentatonic scale because my root notes are on Ds. That's the 10th fret of the low E string, 10th fret of the high E string, and then the 12th fret of the D string there. So just get that shape down where you don't have to think about it. And then over the jam track, start to try to emphasize the root notes. So play. Just make it up, do whatever you want to do, whatever your ear and your hands lead you, just play whatever you want and then try to emphasize the root notes. Now, the A section is just kind of over D minor. So what you can do, kind of the next step for improvising, would be to emphasize the chord tones of D minor. So one exercise that you can do that's really helpful for me would be to play a D minor arpeggio using the E minor shape, E minor bar chord, and just play through 1, lower third, 5th, 1, lower third, 5th, 1, lower third. Just up and down. Doesn't have to be fast, you don't have to be sweeping it. You can just alternate picking, whatever you want. And then right after you play that arpeggio, go through that minor pentatonic scale again. And then as soon as you do that, maybe go through the blues scale and try to be thinking about the notes in the arpeggio. Those are the 1, 3s, and 5. As you go through that. And kind of the next level for that would be to go through maybe a D minor 7 arpeggio. Okay. So throw the lowered 7s in there. Lowered 7, very cool. And you're hitting almost all the notes in a D minor pentatonic scale at that point anyways when you play a D minor 7 arpeggio. So that's really good to start being able to visualize target notes that sound good over like the corresponding minor chord. And I guess the last tip I have for you as far as like actually being able to use scales with music when you're learning them is for the Dorian thing. Just try to memorize your D Dorian shape here. And I'm gonna go with the more boxed kind of traditional jazz one. Raised 6, there's the kind of the keynote for that. And then you can hit that arpeggio again after. And those are still the key notes that you want to hit in the D Dorian scale along with that raised 6th.
Right.
So those are just some tips to help you start, getting better at using scales in musical context. Pull up this jam track and I challenge you for 1 week to go over, at whatever level you're at, whether it's the minor pentatonic scale, blues scale, whether you don't know the arpeggio and you want to get that in your fingers, or if you're more advanced and you want to get that Dorian scale working for you on the B section.